problem and sat out last night. So they think he's fully recovered and he's back in the lineup. And after all, he is a spark plug, the leadoff man that makes this engine run well for Tampa Bay as he steps in, hitting only .217 on the year, however, and Jakubowski's first pitch is a little bit low. Ball one. 48 degrees here at game time. 14 degrees cooler than it was last night. And an easy hopper to Jose Lopez. And B.J. Upton is an out. The roof continues to close here at Safeco Field. It was on nights like these many years ago when I used to do the Angels games that you loved to see Nolan Ryan pitch. He could throw 100 miles an hour, and it seemed like every pitch was right in on the thin part of the bat, right in on your hands. And after every foul ball, the hitters would be wringing their hands to try to get the bees out of them. Carl Crawford is the hitter, and he has taken a couple of strikes. Jakubowski's basically fastball so far. And off the glove of Sweeney, and that will be probably a base hit. And it will be an infield hit by Crawford.
Take a look at it. Crawford pulls it over in the hole. Sweeney getting a second start in a row at first base. Tries to make a backhanded play. Hit him in the handle of the glove. Once you bobble it with Crawford's speed, you're going to have no chance to get him.
Crawford already 4 stolen bases, and certainly one would think that he'd be going here even in the first inning with Evan Longoria up there. In his first 134 games, he has 98 RBIs. Takes down low, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Tampa Bay, they score half their runs with a long ball. They've scored 64 runs, and 32 of them have come because of the home run. That's the highest percentage in the major leagues.
Well, you have Longoria with 5 and Pena has 6. But really, you would think that that number is going to change a little bit. They have pop in their lineup, but they also have a lot of speed, so you think they'd manufacture more runs.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Longoria as the runner goes, and it's foul back. So Crawford down to second base. We understand we're experiencing some video problems, so we'll give you a semi-radio call until those are cleared up. Just the start of things with 1 down here in the first inning. And the Mariners going for their 10th victory against only 5 losses this year. Crawford stays this time, and a pitch cut on and missed. And the count of ball and 2 strikes on Evan Longoria. Crawford stays, and a pitch foul straight back. Good location with that, up and in.
Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire, took one off the mask. You can certainly see why they like Longoria so much. He's quick inside, and that fastball about straight back right in Vanover's face. Take another look at it.
That's one of those foul balls where you can get a concussion if you're unlucky. Kerwin Danley got carried off the field at Rogers Center in Toronto yesterday when he got hit by a broken bat. maybe he's going to go again, and they go back over the bag at first base. Tampa Bay scored both their runs in last night's ball game in the first inning. After Washburn gave up a leadoff base on balls, Longoria doubled him home, then Pat Burrell singled home Longoria, but that was to be it. And a pitch out that time that gets wrong. Very rarely will you pitch out 2-2, but I've seen it done. Crawford stays, and a pitch bang toward the hole, under the diving Adrian Beltre into left field. So Longoria, a base hit.
See Adrian trying to make the play. Looks like maybe he got a piece of it right off the end of his glove. And the Rays last night scored a couple in the first. And like they have the Mariners a little bit of trouble here with Pena coming to the plate.
Rob Johnson goes out to say something. Rob Johnson, by the way. And they do keep funny statistics like a catcher's ERA. He has a catcher's ERA of 2.14, which happens to be the best in the majors. What's that mean? What that means is that every time a pitcher pitches to Rob Johnson, his ERA, everybody's is 2.14. That's unbelievable.
It's terrific. He's done a really nice job. And I think that, the credit obviously goes to the pitchers, but you have to remember sometimes, and that's the reason why I like the stat, is there's a guy back there calling a game, guiding him through a game. And for the most part, he's done a really nice job with that.
A changeup he starts him off with that's high. And a fly ball into the gap. Nobody's there. So that's going to pick up at least one as Crawford will score. Longoria to third base, and they're going to wave him in. Here comes a relay to the plate by Lopez. It's not in time. And just like last night, the Rays have two in the first inning. Carlos Pena had a 12-game hitting streak snapped last night. But he starts another one here with a 1-out, 2 RBI double into the gap in right center field.
We were talking about it, Chris throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs. That one's right in the middle of the plate. Pena, the big power guy for the Rays, drives it into the gap, and Longoria scores fairly easily from first base.
Pat Burrell, the ex-Philly, the hitter now. Tampa Bay's lost 6 of their last 7 games. Jakubowskis at the knees with a strike.
Changed things up a little bit. Started Burrell with a breaking ball.
And a strike. So 2 strikes to count on Pat Burrell. The A's lost again. The Yankees beat them 9-7 in 14 innings, a game that took 3 minutes shy of 5 hours today in New York. That ball gets away from Rob Johnson and scooting on down to third is Pena on the wild pitch. See if the Mariners bring the infield up now. Got a 3:40 start tomorrow now before the M's head off on the road. Felix Hernandez against James Shields. Burrell a base hit to left field, so that's 4 consecutive hits. And Tampa Bay has a 3-0 lead. Pat Burrell is 6th RBI.
Not speed pitch, probably his breaking ball. Burrell looked like he hit it out the end of the bat a little bit. A little soft line drive into the outfield. Now it's a changeup out in front of it, hits it out the end of the bat, but ends up with a base hit.
Zobrist, the switch hitting infielder turned outfielder, hitting 300. I don't know. And a change that is high. It was all the way down to 77 miles an hour. But Jakubowskis is doing something he's usually not doing, and that's falling behind the hitters, as he has here 3-0.
Yeah, he's typically been able to command his fastball and throw strikes when he wants to. He started the game off doing okay, but now that they start to get some base hits together, he's trying to pitch on the edges a little bit more.
And that's a strike. But they just kind of aimed that ball. It was right down the middle at 84 miles an hour. That's BP time. Foul right back below us. And he lost 10. So Jakubowskis' troubles continue to mount here in the first. With 3 in, 2 on, only 1 man down, and Bienar Navarro, the switch hitting catcher, will be the hitter.
Rick Adair is going to go out and talk to him a little bit, see what's going on. Because you're right, Chris. Chris, right now, 24 pitches, 14 strikes, 10 balls. He's usually much better than that.
So Rick trying to settle young man down from Orange County.
Well, if he can get a ground ball here, get a double play, and get out of the inning. We saw Jared Washburn did a great job of settling down after he ended up struggling through the first. And after that, he was fantastic in the game last night.
So we understand we've lost our video and we have audio only if you're just tuning our way. After an easy up and out, an infield hit by Crawford, a base hit by Longoria, a double by Pena, a base hit by Burrell. Now a walk to Zobrist, and this is Bienar Navarro. And the pitch to Navarro is down low and gets away from Rob Johnson. That will come to the backstop. And another wild pitch, the second wild pitch of the inning, charged to Chris Jakubowskis. So the young man definitely struggling here in his second start.
I'm trying to think all the way back to spring training. I don't think we've seen him this wild where he hasn't been able to command the fastball.
And he's way outside with that. So he is really struggling to find the strike zone. Runners at second and third with 1 down and 3 in. And Jakubowskis from the stretch with the 2-0 pitch. And it's swung on and fouled straight back up against the screen. 2-1 on Navarro. 259 hitter left-handed, 118 hitter right-handed, hitting only 205 on the year. Tampa Bay from here goes to Oakland. Then they go to Minnesota before going home. A 6,000-mile trip for them. And the pitch is high and outside. Ball 3-1. And the 3-1 delivery now to Navarro. Swung on, popped him up. Off with a mask coming over as Rob Johnson may have a play. He does, leans with it, and makes the catch. Kind of side saddle the ball, and he made the catch right off his left kneecap. second out as he goes back, and then at the last moment picks it up and smothers the ball with both hands.
Did a nice job of staying with it. The wind's blowing a little bit, even though they've closed the roof. It's still coming through the sides of it. Nice play.
Akinori Iwamura now with runners at second and third. The second baseman, also Team Japan second baseman, Ichiro's teammate during the WBC, taking a strike across the letters on 1 to count. 3-0 Rays here in the first. And Jakabauskas from the chest stops, comes to the plate with the next pitch. That's strike 2 call. So 2 right on the edge of the high portion of the strike zone, and he gets the call on both of them from Larry Vanover. On 2 to count on Akinori Iwamura. And the 0-2 pitch to Iwamura now, and it is check swing taken down low, and time call for a second as the ball was in the dirt after the appeal made down to the third base umpire, Charlie Relaford, and he said no, he did not go. And boy, that's mighty close.
It was really close. Tough call to make, but right away he said that he didn't go.
The 1-2 pitch to Iwamura now on the way. Too high. Jakabauskas looks like he's pushing the ball a little bit to me tonight.
Yeah, he's really trying to work the outside corner, and I think a big indication of that, Dave, is that most of the pitches that he's missing with are up in the zone.
And Chris back with the 2-2 now. On the way. Change low and outside. Ball 3. 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. Way high and outside, ball 4, and the sacks are full. And the hottest of the Rays hitters, even though he's batting in the number 9 hole, will step to the plate. He was in the leadoff spot yesterday, Jason Bartlett. Bartlett hitting .391. And no place to put him now. With Burrell over at third and Zobrist at second, and Iwamura over at first. A huge out here for Jakabauskas to get. He works from the stretch, and the pitch on the way to Bartlett. It's very high. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. He's thrown just as many balls as he has strikes.
.36 pitches so far. Couple of walks in this inning. That's what he's had on the season. 3 appearances. He's had a total of 2 walks.
1-0 pitch is hit a deep left field. Back is Chavez to the warning track. He's right near the wall and makes the catch 5 feet in front of the wall in left field. And 3 are in. But the better part of the story is 3 are left on for Tampa Bay. And as we go to the bottom of the first, Tampa Bay 3 and the Mariners coming up. Tampa Bay leading it by a score at 3-0. We are working on our video problems feverishly, so with no video, we'll give you the radio call as Ichiro steps in against the tall right-hander Jeff Neiman. Kid out of Rice at 6'9", and his first pitch of the night is a little bit low and inside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Ichiro, to be followed by Andy Chavez and then Ken Griffey Jr. Jeff Neiman, 26, and the ex-Rice Owls' next pitch is high to Ichiro as he backs away. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes, as Chris Jakabauskas gives up 3 with 9 men coming to the plate in the top of the inning. And the next pitch is a strike that time, a breaking ball from Jeff Neiman. And the right-hander into his rock, and the 2-1 pitch on the way now. That's low, and it's inside to Ichiro. Ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. When you get 2 youngsters like this working against each other, you never know what's going to pan out.
You really don't. I think the best idea is to let them pitch a little bit and see what they're willing to do. Chris struggled, so now maybe Neiman will do the same thing.
Here comes the 3-1 to Ichiro, and it swung on him, popped up. Shortstop way, Jason Bartlett is right there, still on the skin portion of the infield. He makes the catch. So 1 down, and Andy Chavez will be the hitter. This afternoon, Don Wakamatsu had bunting practice, which is something you usually don't see until a bit later in the season, not after 14 games, because he had a lot of bunting practice in spring training, but he wants to keep it fresh in their minds. Yesterday it was pitcher's fielding practice. The pitch is a strike on the inside corner to Andy Chavez, the count 0-1. So it's constant instruction from Wakamatsu, and I like it.
I think it's a great idea. You have it fresh in their minds. Keep working on it.
Here comes the 0-1 on the way now, and Andy takes down low and inside, so the count and a ball and a strike. The roof is closed for the first time this year as the low-pressure system moved in. 48 degrees at game time. The 1-1 by Neiman now, and it's way inside, ball 2. 2-1 the count on Andy Chavez with Junior on deck. The M's 4-3 on this 9-game homestand, but leading the division by 2.5. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Chavez, a ground ball to second base. Right there, Iwamura. And Akinori throws him out. So 2 down here in the first. And here comes Junior. Junior elicits a reaction from the crowd, and always will here in Seattle. Stepping up to the plate, the outfield a shade to the left, B.J. Upton. He plays fairly shallow. Here's a pitch to Junior, and that fastball is high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. A pretty good gap out there in right center field. Ben Zobrist straight away in right, and Crawford straight away in left. And the Neiman pitch. And Junior takes a strike this time, a change on the inside corner. So the count, a ball and a strike. Jeff Neiman reaches into that glove, goes into his motion, and the 1-1 pitch on the way to Junior. Swung on, popped him up. Off for the mask, coming back is Dinar Navarro. Navarro is watching this one just barely get over the screen into the first row of seats behind home plate. So Junior is still alive. The count has gone to a ball and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Texas and Toronto are in extra frames. They are tied 7-7 at Rogers Center in Canada tonight. And the Angels leading the Tigers 3-2 in that ball game in the first inning down in Anaheim. Here comes Neiman's 1-2 pitch. Junior takes strike 3 called, a change right over the inside corner. So here in the first, 3 up and 3 down. We go to the second inning of play. Tampa Bay 3, the Mariners nothing. Mike Blowers, and we move into the second inning of play, and it'll be the second time already through the lineup for Chris Jakabauskas as he faced 9 in the first inning. B.J. Upton leads it off here in the second inning and takes a ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Jakabauskas has just got to find the strike zone, something that really hasn't been his problem all spring long, and the next pitch is a strike right at the knees. So the count of the ball and a strike. B.J. to be followed by Carl Crawford, the left fielder, and then Evan Longoria, the third baseman, the 1-1 delivery. And that is also right at the knees, a ball and 2 strikes. And that's the Jakabauskas we're used to seeing, Mike.
Well, I think that he came out and struggled in the first, and hopefully he can get it back together. And again, we saw that with Jared Washburn last night. Not necessarily with his command, but just not being able to put the fastball where he wanted to. And then after that, he settled down nicely. And so hopefully Chris will do the same.
The next one was inside. The 2-2 pitch hit foul back behind home plate. So it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. With a low pressure moving in, a day that is quite different than yesterday's. It is very cloudy, cold downtown, a cold mist in the air at the present time. The 2-2 pitch up in a line drive foul, a fair down the left field line. It's about 2 or 3 feet fair inside the line, and BJ will coast into second base with a double. So he hits that hard and quite fair inside the left field line. Already 5 hits off Jakabauskas, and Carl Crawford will be the hitter. We get another look at it here, and it's quite fair. Fair by 3 feet or so.
Chris tried to come inside. Upton, really quick hands, was able to keep the ball fair.
Carl Crawford, the weight in the swing and a miss. Crawford hit one off the glove of Mike Sweeney that went for an infield hit last inning. Sweeney tried to short hop the ball and couldn't do it. Jakabauskas is 0-1 to Carl Crawford on the way. Foul straight back. 0-2. Man who can fly. The Jays 97 wins last year. 31 victories more than 97. What a year. And the right-hander set. And the 0-2 pitch on the way now. That's taken a little bit high. 1-2.
You could see on the first 2 pitches that Chris was trying to keep the ball away from Crawford. Crawford with nobody out and Upton at second trying to find something to pull. And Chris is keeping pretty much everything away from him.
Jakabauskas has the Johnson sign. And the next delivery hit foul down the left field line and well into the stands, which are going to be numbering 15,000, 16,000, something like that tonight. Don't forget, we've got the business person special tomorrow, 3:40. The first pitch, Felix Hernandez and James Shields, the 2 number 1 pitchers, will face off against each other. Here comes the 1-2 pitch now. To Crawford, popped high off the third base side, and that also will make its way back into a well bundled up crowd here this evening. A ball and 2 strikes. The Mariners, of course, had an extraordinary spring training weather-wise. Then went to Vegas where there was no problem. Then, of course, went to Minnesota, and there was no problem there because they played indoors. Here comes the stretch. And the 1-2 pitch on the way is a little bit outside, barely. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then went to Oakland and had some pretty good weather in Oakland. And then home, and until tonight, we haven't even had to have the roof closed. So we've been very, very fortunate when you consider the bad weather that they've had on the eastern seaboard. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way to Crawford. Swung on, ground ball, base hit left field. So B.J. Upton to third base. He'll hold there. And Tampa Bay knocking on the door one more time as Carl Crawford is 2 for 2. Runners at first and third with nobody out here in the second inning. And Evan Longoria, who singled sharply into left field in the first inning, will be the hitter. 6 hits already against Jakubowskis, with nobody out here in the second. Rob Johnson walking out in front of the plate, saying something to the tall, lanky right-hander. Suffering really his first challenge of his big league career here tonight. Here's the pitch to, instead of throw to first base instead of the pitch to Longoria. And Crawford is back to the bag. With the speed, and they've got great speed, and up in the third, Crawford at first. They really put the pressure on you. Here's the pitch. And that slider is down low and away. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And Jakubowskis again. The pitch. Swung on, and a high fly ball to deep left center field will get the run in, as Gutierrez goes way back there to make the catch. BJ tags, scores, throw to second base, and make it. Carl Crawford trying to go from first to second. So a sacrifice fly, and BJ Upton scores, and Carl Crawford trying to go from first to second is thrown out by Gutierrez. What a throw.
Tremendous throw. Gutierrez and Chavez, the 2 outfielders, really have good arms. You can see that throw, 1 hop right on the bag.
So Gutierrez to Lopez, and Crawford is shot down trying to go from first to second. And with 2 outs, Carlos Pena will be the hitter. The pitch to Pena is a strike on the outside corner on 1. Pena had 2 big RBIs with a gapper in the first inning. And the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a high pop-up down the third base line, foul territory. Somebody's got a call. Nobody calls. Beltre, Johnson, and the pitcher all over there, and nobody called.
I think the other thing, too, is the Mariners had a big shift on, so Beltre was all the way out by shortstop, and he comes running in, looks down. And by the time he looks back up to find the ball, he'd overrun it.
So Tampa Bay gets a huge break. That's a routine pop-up as the roof is closed for the first time this year. And that certainly helps the infielders pick up the ball.
Oh, you shouldn't have any problem seeing it with this roof here. It should be pretty easy to find it.
Here comes the 0-2 on the way now. Swung on, and another try at a pop-up. And this time, Beltre is there right at the bag to make the catch to retire the side. That was in fair territory. So here in the second, a run on a couple of hits and nobody left. We move to the bottom of the second. Tampa Bay 4, Mariners nothing. Good to have you with us, although right now we have to give you an audio call. Dave Niehaus along with Mike Blowers, as Jeff Neiman was perfect in his first inning of work for the Rays, and now he'll face the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Mariners: Adrian Beltre, Mike Sweeney, and Jose Lopez. Beltre steps up to the plate, making the final put out in the bottom half of the second, on the top half of the second inning, leading off the bottom half. Beltre hitting 185. You look at the meat of the Mariner order, and you know they're going to hit. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a line drive to left field, and going back to make the catch is Carl Crawford. Ball hit hard. And the numbers say that they will hit. It's just when are they going to start to? Beltre, for example, 185. Lopez, 200. Junior, 184. Franklin Gutierrez, 200. They're all a lot better hitters than that.
Well, they are. I think that happens with every club at the start of the season. They'll have a couple of guys that are off to a great start, and some other guys that are struggling. Eventually, they're going to turn things around.
And you look at their record, though. I mean, you can't complain about that 9-5, and they're leading the division. So despite all their offensive problems, they've been having great pitching. Here comes the wind and the pitch to Mike Sweeney, and Sweeney backed off the plate with a pitch that's a little high and inside. Mike had himself a fine night last night, scored a run, had an RBI, had 3 hits. Sweeney moving his batting average up to over 300 at 313. Neiman's next delivery, check swing, he went around, tried to hold up and couldn't do it, so the count at a ball and a strike. Angels leading Detroit 4-2 in the second inning in Anaheim. Now the wind and the 1-1 pitch, and that's a little breaking ball inside. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. With the roof closed, the breeze continues to blow about straight in. The 2-1 pitch to Sweeney. Swing and a miss. Good hard sinker that time. Right in on his hands, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's Sweeney hurt himself. Sweeney walking away. Comes Rick Griffin, the Mariner trainer. Don Wakamatsu, the Mariner manager.
I think maybe it was his back. It looked like his back maybe locked up on him. The swing, it seemed fine, and then all of a sudden it grabbed him, and he bent down, and he looks like he's having a problem. It seemed like more of his back than anything. Typically on that type of swing, you would think it would be a hand or a wrist, but by his reaction and the way he's moving around right now, it was probably his back.
Yeah, of course, the Mariners already have one man with a back problem down in there, and Sweeney, I think, is going to have to leave, as Russell Branyan, whose spot Sweeney is taken, has still got a tight back, and now Sweeney may have the same thing. The update on Russell Branyan, hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. They say day-to-day, he's been out 5 days now. And Ryan Rowland-Smith had his left elbow drained of fluid today, and he's going to be out at least another week, if not longer, with pain in that elbow. And we look down and see Ronnie Cedeno coming out, and Cedeno is going to be taking over probably at second base, and Lopez will be moving over to first base when we go to the third inning. But Cedeno will come up, and he will pinch hit for Sweeney and inherit a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
It's always a tough job, too. He's been sitting on the bench, probably not expecting to be used until later in the game. He'll jump up there with a 2-ball, 2-strike count without having seen a pitch. That's tough.
So Neiman, his 2-2 delivery now on the way, and it swung on a high fly ball hit to center field. And right there is B.J. Upton to make the easy catch. So Cedeno only saw 1 pitch and he popped it up. And with 2 down, Jose Lopez will be the hitter. got the glass closed out there in the Hit It Here Cafe, enjoying the ball game from indoors tonight. Jose Lopez is the hitter. And the pitch to the Mariners second baseman is a bit low, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and hit hard foul down into the stands down the left field line. We thank you for your patience. We understand that we have full audio and video back now. A 4-0 advantage for Tampa Bay. Breaking ball that time. Neiman's been very impressive so far.
I think watching him, the way he's going about his business, he's one of those guys I would say is probably effectively wild. I think it's tough to zone him up. It's tough to look in a spot with him. That's been his best fastball so far at 94 miles an hour.
2-2. And that's raked hard foul down to the ball girl down there. And an easy second hop for Longoria. And an easy second inning for Jeff Neiman. He's retired the first 6 Mariners in a row. We get set to go to the third. 4-0. Braves. Play with Mike Blowers. I'm Dave Niehaus, and it's good to have our audio and video back, certainly in time for our Aflac trivia question. This is a tough question. I don't think it's a fair question, to tell you the truth, but I've got to ask it because we have had it put right in front of us. Can you name the Mariners lineup on this date 16 years ago when Chris Bosio threw a no-hitter? You played in that ball game.
I did. I was in the lineup that day hitting 7.
Can you name the lineup? Breaking ball down low and outside, ball 2 to Pat Burrell. I remember the last out.
Yeah.
Ernest Riles hit a high chopper right over Bosio, who dropped his head, and Omar Vizquel ran across the front of second base and threw him out. An improbable play as you look at now Ronnie Cedeno taking over at second base. And Jose Lopez has gone over to first for Mike Sweeney. He's suffering a spasm in his back is the report. 3-2 on Pat Burrell.
Ken Griffey Jr. was in that game.
Jr. in center field in that game.
Jay Buhner.
Jay's here tonight. Might hear from him later on. The pitch swung on, and a high pop-up. Hit into left field. And an easy catch for Chavez. What'd you do in that game, remember?
At the plate?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I know I ended up getting a few ground balls, so it felt like I helped Chris get his no-hitter.
Edgar at third base?
No, I was playing third.
You were playing third.
I was playing third.
Harold at second?
Nope.
Who was at second? Here's Zobrist and the ground ball back up the middle underneath the second baseman. Cedeno at second base.
Hey, you take a look at it. I thought maybe Cedeno was going to have a play. Goes right off the end of his glove.
And that's already the 7th hit off Jakubauskas.
Tino Martinez was at first.
Tino was at first. Dan Wilson behind the plate.
Dave Valley.
Dave Valley.
Dave Valley.
Who's in left field?
It's a great question.
Phil Bradley?
No.
No, that was after.
Yeah, Bradley wasn't on that team. Who was at second base? Was Joey on the team then? Joey Cora?
Cora was not on that team. Strike on Navarro.
What year was Eric Anthony with the club?
The Cobra, 1994.
So it would have been before him.
And a high pop-up at second base. Cedeno has an easy catch on that.
Mike Felder.
Tiny Felder?
Yep.
Tiny Felder was out there. You said Valley was catching, right?
Yep.
Akinori Iwamura is the hitter. And a slice fly ball to deep left field, and that's going to be a fair ball into the corner. Zobrist is around third, and the relay to the plate, there will be none. And sliding in with the 5th run of the ball game for Tampa Bay is Ben Zobrist, as Iwamura doubles into the left field corner. And so far, it's been all Tampa Bay tonight.
A lot of fastballs away, and you can see Iwamura goes with it. Chavez playing more towards left center field. Had a long run. Looks like it's just inside the fair line. Nice play, really, by Chavez. He got it as quickly as he could, but no play at the plate.
Jason Bartlett hit a deep fly ball. Only a foot from the wall. Chavez made the catch in the first inning.
Maybe Harold Reynolds was the second baseman on that team. I can't remember when his last year was. Maybe it was 93.
And the Steve Wright. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Tampa Bay's first of 2 trips to Seattle this year. Two and one. Jakubauskas approaching 70 pitches already. 3 away, and we're only in the 3rd inning. And that's laced right to third base. Beltre stays with it. He turned his head for a minute because I think he may have lost in the lights, but he stayed with it and made the catch and also saved a run. 1 more for Tampa Bay, and they lead it 5-0. Brett Boone, your buddy. The runners coming on now in the bottom of the third. Let's give you the answer to our Aflac trivia question tonight concerning what happened 16 years ago tonight. The Mariners lineup on this date in 1993 when Chris Bosio pitched the Mariners' second no-hitter, and there it is. Tiny Felder in left field. Henry Cotto was the DH, Junior in center, Buhner in right. Your buddy Brett Boone was the second base, Tino at first base, Mike was at third, Valley the catcher, and the man who made the play of the ball game for the final out, Omar Vizquel, was at shortstop. So that happened 16 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Tell me about it.
Rob Johnson leads it off here in the bottom of the third. And Neiman is down low, ball one. I don't know, of course, the other no-hitter pitched by the big unit against the Detroit Tigers. 2-0 on Rob Johnson. Rob Johnson had his first career triple in last night's ball game. Already has his first career home run. That came against Jerry Blevins of the A's last September. He says, now I got to get myself a stolen base. Strike.
He will get when he runs well for a catcher. And I don't think that'll be his last triple.
An easy one hopper. And Longoria has got it. Let's go back 16 years. Some highlights from that ball game. A breaking ball off Tino's glove right to Boone. And he goes back to Bosio for an out. And a fine running catch by Junior out there. Look at Mike turn this one in as he guns out the runner there. And the big one here is Ernest Riles right over the mound, and a barehanded thing by Mr. Vizquel. And look at Chris. He never even looked up. He just knew that ball was in center field.
I still can't believe he barehanded that ball.
What a night.
It was great.
Franklin Gutierrez has taken ball one. That's foul. I bet you 16 years ago tonight, the farthest thing in your mind was sitting in a facility like this.
Oh, that's for sure. A game that Boz pitched was in the Kingdome. And I didn't know if that day was ever going to happen.
Nice pitch at the knees to Gutierrez.
Did you?
No, not really. Not really. You just never thought of it that particular time. Neiman's little slur misses outside. And a full count. Franklin Gutierrez. And he got him. That's his second strikeout. 8 in a row retired. And a look now at the Mariners calendar. We've really only just begun. The calendar brought to you by Sleep Country USA. The Mariners off on the road. Not a long road trip, only 6 games. 3 in Anaheim, 3 in Chicago, but they have a very short homestand when they come back. Breaking ball for a strike on the inside corner. Only 5 games when they come back. And the fly ball popped up into shallow left field. An easy run for Crawford to get there and make the catch. So first time through the lineup, Jeff Neiman is perfection. After 3, 5-0 Rays.
Casino, Seattle's premier entertainment and dining destination.
Nanook of the North and his partner here at Seattle. 5-0 Rays. Bundled up. He came prepared. You should see the blanket he has and the heater. He came well prepared for this one. Meanwhile, the Mariners are being no hit here through 3. This Jeff Neiman's doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when the Mariners get a chance to see him the second time through. And really the story, too, is Chris in that first inning struggled with his command. We haven't seen anything like that from him, including back to spring training. But hopefully he's getting things back on track.
Top of the order against Jakubowski's B.J. Upton's 3rd at bat. He's got a ground out, a double, and a run scored. This has got to be brutal in your hands tonight, right?
Definitely don't want anything in on your thumbs.
Fouled out of play. Major contrast. I mean, yesterday, last couple days were just spectacular. Chamber of Commerce perfect. Happy Earth Day, by the way.
Yeah, same to you.
Actually, I remember going to one of those. I think the first one was growing up in Philly, 1970, Fairmount Park. Nice day, live bands, good time. Swing and a miss, and Upton is gone. First strikeout for Jakubowski. One out here in the 4th.
Nice sharp breaking ball. bottom of the strike zone.
Jakubowski's pitch count way higher than he would like at this stage in the ballgame. Not to mention being down 5-0. There's Carl Crawford. Infield hit. Sweeney couldn't handle a hard hit, one hopper, and then a base hit to left. Hopefully Mike Sweeney will be back soon. Upper back muscle spasm. Two balls and one strike to Carl Crawford.
I would imagine maybe the weather had something to do with Mike. He had kind of an awkward looking swing. It was shortly after he finished his swing that you could see something was bothering him.
Crawford gets a piece of that. Yeah, it was one of those trying to get out of the way and check your swing at the same time.
Right.
I mean, it's trying to do two things. And you're exactly right. The temperature's not helping. Two and two. Tapper, get out of play. So the Mariners have been retired 9 up, 9 down through 3 by Jeff Neiman. Meanwhile, the Rays offense has exploded, 5 runs on 8 hits.
You mentioned the pitch count for him, 78. Well, 37 of those came in the first inning. He really struggled to get through it.
Foul back, and the fact that it took 20 minutes. And you could see some of the frustration growing. I mean, he overthrew a couple of breaking balls wouldn't get down for him.
That's typical. Started aiming his fastball a little bit, just trying to get it in there for a strike. Now he looks like he's throwing free and easy. Better command.
High chopper Cedeno, and that's a base hit for Crawford. Had he gloved it, he probably wouldn't have got him anyway. Crawford can fly, and he was about 2 steps from the bag. So an infield hit. Crawford having a night. He's 3 for 3. Coming up tomorrow, getaway day game, James Shields against Felix Hernandez.
Well, I'm excited to see Felix pitch again. You can see his record 2-0. ERA a little high for him. I think he's going to pitch a good game. Shields is always tough. Control type of pitcher. A lot of ground balls, heavy sinker. There you go. Nice hat and a blanket. Looks pretty good, actually.
Bringing them young. As cold as it is, I would imagine they're not going to see the 9th inning. Those young ones. Sean White warming up. Here's Longoria. The drive to the gap, that is trouble. Crawford can really run, and Longoria's not too shabby. They're going to wave Crawford. Here's a throw from Cedeno up the line. He scores. Throw to third, not in time. So a 2-base hit for Longoria, an RBI, his second of the night. Takes third on the throw, and scoring all the way from first is Carl Crawford.
Looked like they were going to have a chance. This throw ends up the line. Rob has to come up the line to get it. Maybe if it was on the plate, they had a chance. Because he had to run up, kind of spun him around a little bit. And by the time he threw to third, Longoria was in there. Ricadera is going to go out. Talk to Chris again.
Pitch count at 81.
You could really see Crawford turn it up a notch.
Yeah, right.
He knew it was going to be a close play, and he was really going when they decided to wave him home.
Jakubowski's threw 81 pitches. His last time up is 5 in the 3rd inning stint against the Angels. 5, make that 6 days ago.
I think Rick was out there trying to buy some time for Sean White, who's throwing in the Mariner bullpen.
Six runs on 10 hits tonight for Tampa Bay. Longoria has 2 ribbies tonight. Pena has 2. 1 for Burrell and 1 for Iwamura. There's Pena.
And at this point, the Mariners have to bring their infield up. Even with 1 out, I think they had to cut this next runner down. Down 6-0 early in the ball game.
1-0 to Pena. He now's ahead 2-0. Temperature at first pitch 48 degrees, wind out of the northeast at 13, and I'm sure we can update those numbers. It'll be considerably lower. 3-0. Pat Burrell awaits. Rio pit way outside, not close. So Pena draws a walk. That's the second walk issued by Jakubowskis. Runners at the corners, and that's going to do it. Walk's going to get him here with one out in the fourth inning, down 6-0 with runners at the corners, and the right-handed Pat Burrell coming up. And Burrell already 1 for 2. We continue right after this timeout. Come. 6-0 Tampa Bay. Fourth inning action here at Safeco. The weather, it's getting warmer, so they say, and the Mariners have the perfect way for you to get 16 chances to watch Ichiro, Ken Griffey Jr. and the Mariners this summer. It's a 16 game plan. Great seat location. Join many season ticket holder benefits. So visit mariners.com/16 for more information. So everybody taking their respective defensive positions now, ready for action with Sean White in the game. He's the long man tonight. We're in the fourth with one out. 6-0 Tampa Bay. Pat Burrell is going to be the hitter. Runners at the corners with one down. Burrell with an RBI base hit to left his first time up.
Mariners defense will fall back into double play depth.
The 1-0 from Sean White. Check. He did. Put on first base umpire Sam Holbrook. 2-0 to Pat Burrell.
Sean White has a pretty good sinker, good slider.
Oh, he was straining. They got him. They got him. He was taking a walking leap. Almost wasn't like he wasn't paying attention.
Everybody always complains that move never works. It's a fake to third, throw to first. Well, every now and then it actually does work.
Oh, he was meat.
Yeah, no chance.
Mariners will take that. 2 outs. Runner at third now. 2-0 to Burrell. Burrell rips one down the line, but foul. That is first month of action with the Rays after coming over from the Phillies, team that beat the Rays in the World Series last year. Burrell hit 251 home runs as a Philly. Only Mike Schmidt with 548, Del Ennis with 259 hit more. Bouncing ball, Beltran right there. Throws out Burrow, inning over. Some more damage done on the RBI double by Longoria. Tampa Bay increases the lead to 6-0. Rays lead at 6-0. Game 3 tomorrow, the finale. How about this question, folks? Which Mariner no-hitter is your favorite? Unit turned one in June 2 of 90. And as we've showed you earlier, Chris Basio, April 22, this date, 1993. 95323. Text A or B. I have the results for you shortly. Bottom of the 4th inning. Jeff Neiman has been through the Mariner order once and retired all 9. Second go-around starts right here with Ichiro. Ichiro popped out to the shortstop his first time up. Ball 1, Ichiro. Popped up, foul territory. Longoria right there. Ichiro's popped out to the shortstop and now the third baseman. 0 for 2.
I think so far looking at Neiman, he's effectively wild, Dave. He's kind of all over the place with good stuff. Pretty good run on his fastball. Nice breaking ball. Changes speeds well, but you know, he can miss by a foot and then put one on the corner on you. It's really tough as a hitter to zone him up.
There's Andy Chavez. Start calling him the professor before the game. He was basically doing a bunting clinic for the team. And then a clinic at second base for Unieski Betancourt, how to get your primary and secondary leads and what to look for from the pitcher in terms of trying to get a good jump, trying to maybe steal third base. So it was a very interesting session. Indy, a big part of it. Lee Tinsley involved, Bruce Hines, Don Wakamatsu.
We saw Chavez do that quite a bit during spring training.
Yep.
A lot of times when the games were going on, you could see him holding court down there on the bench talking to the guys about what was going on.
He really gets it, and he explains it very well. He really had their attention. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Chavez. Watching him push bunts, drag bunt. Really good. Big part of last night's story. The bunt with Ichiro, the man on third, 1 out. Some signs got crushed. 2-2. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. 2 outs. Third strikeout for Jeff Neiman. Get them while they're hot. Rally fries. Is there hot chocolate with that?
It's nice to see the 4th generation kids here. I was more impressed the fact that they're up behind that glass where there's some heat helping them out. Good to see the kids out.
Happy group of customers, the Barnes family. First pitch, the junior's outside. He struck out looking on a 1-2 pitch his first time. Eleven straight men retired by Neiman. Fouled off. One and one. Back up the middle. Shortstop Bartlett had him played perfectly. And how about Neiman? That is the operative word. Through 4, he's perfect. 6-0 Tampa Bay. Jeff Neiman has gone through the Mariners in order through 4. This is Sean White, second pitcher of the evening for the Mariners. Chris Jakubowskis. A very rocky, rugged start.
A couple things. First, Neiman, you just mentioned it. Mariners going to have to find a way to get somebody on base, maybe put him in the stretch, change things up a little bit. But they also need to stop the Rays from scoring. They scored in every inning so far. 10 hits already in the game.
Ben Zobrist leading off. Beltre takes a look. That's going to get out of play. 6, 7, and 8 here for Tampa Bay. Zobrist, Navarro, and Iwamura. Sean White brought in to try to stop the bleeding here. 2-2 to Zobrist, who walked, reached on an infield hit, came around to score in the 3rd inning. Full count now. 2-run Pena double in the first, and an RBI by Burrell got Tampa Bay started. The Mariners are hoping for a leadoff walk after Zobrist was behind 0-2. Sac fly by Longoria in the 2nd. RBI double Iwamura in the 3rd. RBI double Longoria in the 4th, counting for the 6 runs for the Rays. It's their catcher, Deanna Navarro. for a ball. Navarro popped up to the catcher Johnson. Popped up to the second baseman. Other headline tonight, Mike Sweeney, upper back muscle spasm. He had to leave the game during his first at bat in the second inning. But Ronnie Cedeno in a pinch hit. He stayed on at second. They moved Lopez from second. Runner goes. Johnson's throw. Not in time. And the count goes to 2-0 to Navarro. First stolen base for Zobrist.
That was a good jump by him, too. This throw, no chance, other side of the bag. Nice pick by Betancourt, but no chance to get him.
Navarro, switch hitting catcher. Under the 200 mark. Eddie Chavez has it come right to him. 1 out. Take a look at some stolen base leaders in this young season. The Rays right on top of the American League, followed by the Angels. That does not come as a surprise. Rangers right there as well. They've been very aggressive. Here's Iwamura walking an RBI double. Here's a strike. Weather Channel saying it's 42. It feels like 42 degrees. I think Mike Blowers would like to debate that one. If they were graphing the temperature tonight, it would be on a direct downward flight.
I know it's supposed to be nice in LA when we get down there for the weekend. What's it supposed to be like in Chicago, do you know?
I'm anticipating bad things, but I'm told mid-60s, which for this time of year, Chicago, that is spectacular. Of course, you also have through the great Midwest the never-ending threat of thunder showers. 1-2 to Akinora. Zobrist at second, 1 out.
Seeing the Rangers up their third stolen bases, I think they start changing their thinking a little bit when Ron Washington, the manager of the Rangers, was able to get down into Texas. They used to sit around and wait for 3-run homers. Can't really blame them for that in the ballpark they play in.
2-2, second time Akinora goes the other way. Boy, last time he drove one into the left field corner. Got a fastball away.
Right now the Mariners bench. Jamie Burke, backup catcher, and Valentine. That's it.
2-2. Betancourt has it roll up his arm. He'll eat it right there. Akinora got down the line quickly. First and second now. So that's an E6. And for Uni, that's his third error of the season. Back to the fan poll. Randy Johnson getting the nod because he was the first. 9-5-3-2-3. So the runner Zobrist held at second. E6 on Betancourt. That's his third. He had 2 on Sunday. Again, Iwamura was getting down the line quickly, but he'd just soon have eaten that one up. So now the Rays have runners at first and second. 1 out. Jason Bartlett, who started the day 5th in the American League in hitting. He hit an artillery shell that was run down by Beltre his last time up. He's 0 for 2. I don't know. He may not be able to hit a ball any harder than he hit that last time up. I mean, that was crunched.
Looked like Adrian had a tough time with the lights.
Yeah.
Ducking and was able to make the catch.
Here's the 1-0. Zobrist back to second. 5th inning action here. Chilled Safeco Field with the roof closed. The 1-0 runners go. Bunt, throw to Johnson down to third. Got him. Caught stealing 2-5. Rob Johnson, fine throw.
He didn't get a very good jump this time. He had a great jump going into second, but he was out by a pretty good margin. Trying to take his hand away and sneak it back in there, but Adrian stays with it.
On the double steal attempt, they do get second with Iwamura. 2 outs now. Runner still in scoring position. Bartlett 0 for 2. Bartlett led off last evening, and he went 0 for 4 with a walk. Rays really happy to have B.J. Upton back in the leadoff spot and in center field. The 1-1. Congratulations to Jared Washburn for that fabulous game he pitched last night. 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 9 Ks to go 3-0. Base hit right field. Ichiro coming up. Here's the throw. They got a chance. They didn't get him. Boy, Iwamura scoring on his countrymen. It's 7-0 Tampa Bay.
Well, it was hard to see, but pretty good slide. I don't see how he was able to get his hand in there. It looked like Rob did a nice job of blocking the plate, maybe the back corner. But Rob did a nice job of taking the play away from him. Slides by and reaches back, it looks like. Yep.
Well, you saw Rob did a super job, and he just got a piece of that back end.
Yep, good
almost
slide.
the front end. And Rob had done a spectacular job over the weekend against Curtis Granderson trying to score. Indy Chavez throwing him out at the plate. That ball gets away, moving to third. Throw to third, not in time. Very aggressive Tampa Bay Ball Club. That's a wild pitch. So Bartlett took second on the throw. Now Wild pitch to third. Joe Madden coming out of that Angels system for a lot of years. Bench coach 10 years over there, and they believe in aggressive base running, and you're seeing a lot of that tonight.
They have a lot of speed in their lineup.
Oh, tremendous speed. Bouncing ball foul. Remember last year we were talking so much, concentrating so much on the Angels, obviously because we see them 19 times. But I remember talking to Mike Socha, and he said, hey, we go first and third really well. You know who does it better? Tampa Bay. And then when we saw Tampa Bay the second time, boy, did they put that in play. Ball and 2 strikes to B.J. Upton. Roy Corcoran warming up. Swing and a miss, and down goes Upton. But Tampa Bay scores yet again. They have scored in every inning through their first 5 times up. Ichiro's throw, pretty doggone good one, but a better slide by Iwamura, his countryman. Tampa Bay leads it big 7-0. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Banner Bank. Better ideas, better banking. Glad you could join us this evening. Chilly, Seattle, Safeco Field, 7-0 Tampa Bay. Second of 2 getaway day game tomorrow. And the Mariners get back on the road. First trip to Anaheim and then off to Chicago for the only trip of the year. We'll get to see one of our favorite guys, Ozzie Guillen. What a character he is. Always enjoy catching up with him. Adrian Beltre to lead it off. All Jeff Neiman has done is thrown a perfect game through 4 innings. First time up for Beltre. First pitch swinging, hit a line drive that was tracked down in left field by Carl Crawford. This young man Jeff Neiman, a big guy, 6'9", out of Houston. Did he play hoops? No, because he was beaten out for the center spot by Emeka Okafor and went on to become an All-American at the University of Connecticut. Now star center with the Charlotte Bobcats. Foul ball.
He was in pretty good shape with his pitch count too. Just 51 pitches here in the 5th inning.
He put up some incredible numbers at Rice University. Rice, the last 10 years or so, has been one of the dominant college baseball programs in the country. Went 28-4 in his career there, 2.41 ERA, 303 Ks and 284 and a third. Big breaking ball, backhanded by Bartlett. Throw is not in time. He missed him, so he's aboard. Beltre's aboard. E6. There goes the perfecto. The no-hitter still lives.
Yeah, maybe that's the break the Mariners were looking for. Trying to get some offense going. As Bartlett, usually a pretty solid shortstop, he usually makes this play all day long, but the throw is a little bit high. And when the tag comes down, it looks like Adrian's foot is on the base. And now Neiman's going to have to get in the stretch for the first time tonight, and maybe that makes a difference.
You remember Verlander retired the first 12 that he faced. That was Friday night, and then the Mariners erupted for 5 runs in the 5th inning, sending 10 men to the plate.
Yeah, it was Adrian that got that started.
You bet. So in E6, here's Ronnie Cedeno. 1-0 to Ronnie. Cedeno did not start, but he got into the game in the 2nd inning. Mike Sweeney had a 2-2 count, check swing, and he suffered an upper back muscle spasm and had to leave the game. So Cedeno came in, finished that at bat, flied out the center, stayed on in the game at second base. Lopez moved to first. 2-0. Now Cedeno 3-0. Fourth time this young man's been a 3-ball count.
Doesn't sound like much when you talk about, well, he's going to go into the stretch, but I'm telling you, he was in such a groove that maybe it will make a difference as he walks his first batter.
So an E6 and a walk could be the start of something big, as the old Steve Allen song used to go. Receive a commemorative Ken Griffey Jr. 4-poster set with your Nike purchase of $25 or more. Mariner team stores have the best selection of Griffey merchandise, including jerseys, t-shirts, and more, available at all 5 locations while supplies last. Jim Hickey, pitching coach. A few words for his big 6'9" right-hander, Jeff Neiman. Yep, just Friday night. It's interesting contrast the way both of these 4 innings tonight and Friday developed. Verlander was up around 100 miles an hour. This kid, as you mentioned, has been a little everything, and yet he was perfect through 4. Lopez had a couple of long foul balls his first time up. There's a called strike. Jose grounded out to third his first time. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Driven deep to left field. Going back, Crawford. Not going to get it because it's gone. A 3-run homer for Jose Lopez. Gone is the perfecto. Gone is the no-hitter. And the Mariners are on the board at 7-3. He got it on an 0-1 pitch. Well, we said he had fouled a couple off hard his first time up. And, Mike, your point about going to the stretch has really affected Neiman.
Sure seems like it. That pitch right in the middle of the plate, and Lopez doesn't miss it. He hits it out to left center field on a line. You can see by the tracer that ball right in the middle of home plate. And he crushed it.
Nice quick turnaround. And now the Mariners are on the board. 379 feet for Lopez, the second home run of the year, gives him 11 RBIs on the season. First 15 games.
With the way the breeze was blowing tonight, and as cool as it is, I didn't know if anybody was going to hit one out of the left.
Amen. Popped up. Pena coming in. Pena coming in. And that's a fair ball, is it?
No,
he called it foul. Pena, knowing that the ball was going to come at, boy, Navarro's hurt too. But Pena came in at 100 miles an hour, thought his catcher hurt him. And the Mariners catch a heck of a break.
I think Pena, he's doing what he should do. If he can catch it, come in and help his catcher out. I couldn't tell if he was calling for it. But if he was, Navarro never heard him.
He had to have been, because boy, I tell you what, he came flying down like he was running a 40.
Elbowed him in the back of the head.
Oof, that's always pleasant.
So Rob will get another chance.
Want to give an error on the catcher. Over near the dugout this time. Two errors in this inning for Tampa Bay. This is such a wacky game, isn't it? The guys throw the perfect game. Cold night. You don't think the ball's going to get out of here. And that thing was about a 5-iron. Just rocketed out of here.
We've had 2 games like that on this homestand.
Verlander looked like he was Superman on Friday. And then Mariners turned it around and got to him and won the game. 2-2. Let up pitch driven to left field. Crawford, good wheels into the corner. And he could not hold on.
See if we can. If he gets a glove on it right when he runs into the pad.
Yeah, it hit the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Inning started with Beltre reaching underneath 6. Killed a perfect game, then a walk. Lopez with 2 on, 0-1 pitch, drilled one into the Mariners bullpen. The ball game at 7-3. Mariners 3 runs on 1 hit. Seven runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, both this inning for Tampa Bay. 3 runs, a hit, and an error for the Mariners. 2-2. Johnson to right field, coming on Zobrist. Did not get it. Base hit. Seven pitch at bat, helped by an E2. And Rob Johnson's aboard.
Inside out swing. He earned that hit. You mentioned he catches a break when Pena runs into Navarro. Look at this. Right off the end of the glove. Hit a foul ball down the left field line that was almost caught and ends up with a base hit.
Crazy game. Here's Gutierrez. Struck out on a 3-2 pitch his first time. 7-3 Rays. Driven into Franklin, ball one. American League best 4 sacrifice bunts. He really highlights here in April for Franklin Gutierrez. What an inning. E6 walk, 3-run homer. Base hit after the bat kept alive. 2-0. Finds Schaus, left-hander getting ready. Third start of the year for Jeff Neiman. 0-2 with a 6.35 ERA. High fly ball down the line. And it is a foul ball.
Wow.
Plenty of distance, but
it looked like it was going to be fouled by a lot, and all of a sudden it started to blow back. Actually, it was pretty close.
Sure was. I thought for sure that was foul ball all the way.
Typically hit that, it's going to hook, keep hooking foul, and it started to, and then it straightened out and started coming back the other way. Of course, even though we have the roof on, that wind will still blow in from that area.
Well, particularly that corner, you bet. And Neiman. Big difference here in the 5th. 2-1 to Gutierrez. 3 runs in, runner on, nobody out. Three and one. On deck is Yuniesky Betancourt. So you go from a perfect game to calling yourself a whole bunch of different names on the mound. That's Jeff Neiman. Three and one. Play.
Well, he hasn't been helped by his infield either. He ended up with an error by the shortstop and an error by the catcher.
Johnson, a really good running catcher at first base. Gutierrez, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second time he's run a full count. Neiman takes a long look. He's ready. Johnson takes off. The pitch swung on, sent to center field for B.J. Upton. Johnson had the ball all the way. He's back safely. 1 out here in the 5th. Visit the official online shop of the Mariners at mariners.com. You can browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your gear at mariners.com shop. Here's Betancourt flying out to left field. First time up. That ended the 3rd inning. You're only hitting .319. Up the middle, Akinora is going to step and throw. This inning's over. They had him perfectly defensed, but the Mariners do get on the board. 3-run homer by Lopez, his 2nd of the season. Mariners now trail 7-3. Field, let's check out our Coors Light freeze cam. And a perfect game was broken up in the 5th inning. Adrian Beltre bouncing ball to shortstop. A bad throw by Bartlett. Great hustle by Beltre. Look at that freeze right there. That's our Coors Light freeze cam. Beltre saved E6, and it did open the floodgates. And there you have it. New pitcher, 3rd of the night for the Mariners is Roy Corcoran. He's a look at Beltre, and Corcoran is on now. The numbers for Mr. Corcoran: a 4.50 ERA, 3 Ks to 6 walks. Opponent's hitting 300, trying to knock those numbers down. Joining us right now, Bone is here. Jay Buhner, what's happening, pal?
All right, brother.
I'm doing well, man. Good to see you.
Staying warm.
Yeah, hey, man, check it out. Look at your boy over here. Oh, he took the blanket off. He had
Got the little heater.
Around. Yeah.
Got the little heater underneath.
Yeah,
the little cheater.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I brought my little Mariner beanie just in case my head gets cold. My
I can relate. Hey, man, I can relate.
Gunner, do you have the whole family here?
No, just G-Man. Just me and G-Man.
So what do you think of this ball club to this point?
I like them. They're exciting. I like the fact that they built a ball club around their ballpark. They got some rabbits and go out and track some stuff down, which helps out the pitchers. Now the pitchers can challenge and attack the strike zone. If they leave one over the middle of the plate, they know they're not going to get their brains beat out, and the outfielders can go run it down. And I tell you what, they're early in the season. I mean, the way they're scoring runs and manufacturing runs and running and gunning and opening up holes, and their defense is stellar. It's exciting to watch.
I think looking at this club too, because of the pitching and the defense, there's nothing wrong with winning games 4-3.
No, not at all.
People want to talk about the offense all the time, but this is hey, you know, right?
No, you're right.
From all the years of us losing 12-10 and.
Well, we won some of those games too.
A few. But I agree with you. I love winning some close games. It's character builders, man. Because that's the way it is in the playoffs, man. They're tight games.
They are, and pitching's a big part of that. But you know, we were laughing early, but I was missing the Kingdom, seeing Bosio's no-hitter, which happened on this day in '93. But that place was a great place to hit.
Oh,
you know, it's just totally opposite. So
72 every day.
Right.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Right
Sounds
now,
pretty good right now.
And carrying out. I know it does sound good.
Right now, it's about 42 and going down, and you got to really kill it the way Lopez did to get it out of here.
I know. I was walking around early out in the outfield, meeting and greeting, saying hi to people, and I'm telling you, it was freezing out in center field. Ooh, I didn't have enough. There was not enough clothes out there for me to be wearing.
I hear you.
What have you been doing?
Little as possible, man. To be honest with you. No,
are you coaching?
I'm helping coach Gunner's team a little bit, and I'm helping coach them outside softball a little bit, and hopefully we'll be a part of the Everett Aqua Sox again. I was part of the minority group down there. It's a lot of fun, and Pedro Rafal, head of our minor leagues, just contacted me again today. They want me to go around the minor leagues and be a roving outfield instructor and just kind of talk to the kids and get them playing good, solid baseball and playing the game the way the game's supposed to be played.
You like that? Runner goes. Here's a throw by Rob Johnson. It is not in time. Stolen base for Carl Crawford. That's his 5th.
Looks like a pretty good throw by Rob. See if he gets his foot in there first. Nope. I think he was out.
Crawford, one of the premier base stealers in the American League. Oh, he was. O-U-T.
Well, they miss him every now and then.
Great call.
What, you disagree?
No,
base hit right field. Crawford, good wheels. Ichiro up with the throw. No chance as Crawford scores easily. So the run scoring continues. They've tallied in every frame. RBI Longoria, his 3rd tonight.
Well done, C. Let's start us up, baby.
I know they're their enemy, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are.
Good young ball club, and I think it's obvious it was no fluke what they did last year.
Did that with a 2-0 count. He was one of the most popular athletes in Seattle sports history, and this Friday, Mariners Hall of Famer Jay Buhner, he shares his journey in baseball in his own words. The Bone's going to reflect on his 14 years as a Mariner, his unique relationship with Ken Griffey Jr., and much more. In my own words, Jay Buhner, Friday at 6 p.m. here on FSN. You proud of that performance? Were you proud of what you laid down on tape for us?
I have no clue. I haven't seen it, and I'm a little worried about it, to be quite honest with you.
Meanwhile, Longoria is 3 for 3 with 3 RBI.
Hopefully the editor made me look good, which is a lot of work.
Commercials were great, by the way. Dude, the commercials were really
Those are
strong.
fun. Those are fun to do. And the one with the monkey this year, that thing was a piece of work in himself. He was running all over the office.
Is that right?
Oh. And had Edgar on his toes, man. He was scared to death of the thing.
That's right. Oh. Never follow children or animal acts.
Oh, the first time he had to reach down and get the script from the monkey, and the monkey looked up at him and showed his teeth, Edgar was like, ooh.
I wouldn't want any part of it.
Oh, it was hilarious. He was backing up. So I'm sure the outtakes. I haven't seen the outtakes yet either, so I heard they're pretty fun.
They are. 0-2. Tough customer here, Carlos Pena. An RBI double his first time up. And in fact, drove in 2 at that double time is called. You're right. This is a don't try to.
That's impressive.
That's my pregame notes and whatnot. I can barely read it. I don't know how you're going to read it.
You guys are prepared,
How much time did you spend down in spring training? I know I missed you a couple of times down there.
I was down there for about 4 days just in the minor leagues.
That's it?
That was it. I was down there with my son's team. We played in a tournament, and I went over and spent actually only 3 days. 3 days in the minor leagues.
Yeah, you spent 1 day playing golf, right?
Yeah. Yeah, would you know? Was that?
Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
I was a last minute invite myself. It was pretty fun. Mac, John McLaren and Junior and I, it was pretty fun.
I think the last time I played golf with you made it about halfway quit. Next thing I know, you had a fishing pole.
Well, there was too many fish in the bass pond and the ponds on the golf course, man. I want to catch those fish, man.
1-2. Fouled off by Pena.
It was the best for all of us, Dave.
Yeah.
You have a golf with Jay. Jay's actually a good player. But his attention span is for 9 holes, and then after that, you prefer him to do something else because somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah, I agree. It never fails. I always put someone's eye out or something crazy.
Just let one rip.
Well, yeah, I do get bored, and I'd rather fish, quite frankly.
1-2 to Pena.
I spent a number of years with my locker right next to Jay's.
Right.
Most of it was good.
Thanks, bud. We had some good times.
It was great.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Shift on for Pena. Beltre playing over in shortstop generally plays. Betancourt on the second base side along with Lopez.
You ever think about getting back into it full time? Coaching or
maybe once the kids get out of the house. I think right now I'm going to enjoy being a dad and being a husband.
Are they ever going to get out of the house?
Yeah, because I'm going to kick them out.
Pena's gone. 1 out.
It's healthy to get them out. They need to go experience life, man.
But you think it's something you'd like to get back into?
I'd love to. I'd love to. Wouldn't you? At some point? It's a great game.
It is. It is.
I think
it seems like a lot of work, though.
It is, but I think under the right circumstance with the right group of guys, I think it'd be an absolute blast. We've talked about that in the past.
Pat Burrell. Burrell with an RBI single. Fly out in the ground at 1 for 3. It's a middle game of 3. 8-3 Tampa Bay in the 6th. Boy, Corky falls behind Burrell. 2-0. This guy hit a lot of home runs, man.
Had some good years over in Philly. And the guy that took his place is having a pretty good year right now.
Off to a good start.
Whew. He's got about 6-7 home runs already rolled.
Yeah.
And in that ballpark, he's going to rip.
Oh, man. He could have 20 at home.
Easily.
He's got a great swing. That line drive swing. That's all you need there.
He hit one Saturday. Got a fastball away and just drove it out. And it's about 360. The gap over there.
That was a game winner, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. He had one game winner, I think, on Sunday, yeah. Burrell's on 4 pitches. Perkins come in, walk, RBI single, strikeout, walk.
You're going to have nights like this. The bullpen has been terrific. They're having a tough time tonight.
Bullpen Started tonight leading the American League with a 2.21 ERA, and Mariners ERA overall 2.94. Ben Zobrist walked twice, got a stolen base, got a base hit. Batista starting to stir down the bullpen. Ball one. That is 5 consecutive balls thrown now by Roy Corker. There's a drive to right field for Ichiro. 2 outs. When you're out in the field like this, I mean, in terms of keeping those hands, you do anything special?
Just keep moving around, man.
Yeah.
Keep moving around as much as you can. Hands in the pocket, maybe sometimes. Sometimes, if it was really cold, I would wear a back glove on my throwing hand if it was that cold. Some cold times in Chicago or
if it's
Detroit.
Really, if it's really cold in Detroit, for example, all of a sudden his leg would stiffen up and I'd run out to right field. Oh, you remember that? I hadn't played the outfield, so I had to go into right field. Something happened with Jay. I think it was right before the game, maybe during BP. You did something to your back, and I go out there. And it was one of those
hangnail or something.
That's right. It was freezing out there, and Jay's helping me. Where do I stand and kind of all that stuff. And I was fortunate because in the old ballpark it was short, so you could really, basically I was standing on the warning track out there and you just didn't run in on everything.
That's about right.
If it's over your head, it's out of here. Don't worry about it, which was great advice.
That's the truth.
I had one of those hot pack things that you stick in your back pocket to keep your hands warm. And I came running in and I slid and that thing busted in my back pocket. I jumped out. It lit me on fire. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. You learn things like that first time you go in the outfield.
Oops.
Take notes, folks at home. Take notes. Bouncing ball. Cedeno. And he throws out Navarro. Inning over. Run scored. Bone, good to see you, man.
See you guys. My best to y'all.
Tampa Bay's got an 8-3 lead.
On FSN is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, celebrating 12 years of fun with cash and prizes April 25th and 26th. More info at emeraldqueen.com.
Home sixth here at Safeco, 8-3 Tampa Bay. The Rays have scored in every inning, 3 in the first and 1 ever since. Top of the order coming up for the Mariners against this young man, Jeff Neiman, 26-year-old. Born and still lives in Houston, Texas, out of Rice University. Dominant pitcher at Rice, one of the great baseball programs in the country. He went 28-4 there with a 2.41 ERA over his first 4 years. He graduated from Rice, kinesiology major. Parents graduated from the University of Texas. An uncle and a grandfather on his mom's side graduated from Rice. Top of the order for the Mariners. Ichiro, Andy Chavez, and Ken Griffey Jr. here in the 6th. Mariners, through the first 4 innings, saw Neiman throw a perfect game. And Ichiro tonight has popped up to the shortstop, popped up to the third baseman. Mariners got the 3 runs in the 5th inning, a 3-run Jose Lopez home run. Heck of an inning there as Beltre reached on an error by the shortstop. A walk, and then on an 0-1 pitch, Lopez unloaded. J.P. Howell, another left-hander warming up. Oh, 0-2 to Ichiro, hitting .222. Stays alive. So Ichiro 0 for 2, Chavez 0 for 2, and ditto Ken Griffey Jr. It's their 3rd time around against Neiman. B.J. Upton playing a very shallow field. He's got extraordinary speed. Here's the 0-2. Big part of last night's game. That's the way Joe Madden likes to deploy his defense. He'll take away base hits. And Gabe Kapler had 2 hit over his head, and 1 he made a spectacular catch against Andy Chavez. It's flipped foul.
They can get away with that defense a little bit more with Upton in center field. He can go get it. And I don't, you know, you watch him. I was surprised when they moved him from the infield and just threw him out in center field, basically, how good he was right away.
Oh, and there we go, 1-2 to Ichiro, leading off the home 6th. Foul. Boss Man Jr., that's what the BJ stands for. Really good player. One-two. Ichiro battling Neiman. Eighth pitch coming up. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's hanging there. Melvin Emmanuel Upton is the given name of B.J. Upton. That's a base hit for Ichiro. Good start to the 6th. It was a long at bat. Pays off. Makes it work. 3rd hit of the night for the Mariners. 3 runs on 3 hits and an error. And a pitch away and drove it past the shortstop, Jason Bartlett. There's Andy Chavez. Andy bounced out the second and struck out. Ball 1 to Andy. Big impact on this ball club. We talked about his leadership skills. He's also done a good job swinging the bat. .357. He's 4 for 4 in base stealing as well. Felix Hernandez, James Shields wraps up the series tomorrow. And it's off to Anaheim. Weekend series, Southern California. Eric Bedard and Shane Lukes on Friday. Carlos Silva pitches Saturday. Angels have not announced their pitcher for Saturday. And then Sunday, Jared Washburn against Jared Weaver. Chavez 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored yesterday. 1-0. Runner goes. Throw down by Navarro. In time, got him. 1 out.
Did a decent jump. Great throw by Navarro.
Right on the bag. Out by a couple of feet.
Ventura now 1 for 2 in base stealing. 1 out. 2-0 to Indy Chavez. There for strike. 2-1. Ken Griffey Jr.'s on deck. Inside.
We're talking about all the different things that Chavez does for this club. I think the biggest thing with all the new additions for them that's a little bit different than the way it's been the last couple of years with Chavez and Gutierrez and Junior in the lineup, Sweeney. Hopefully they'll get him back soon. Hopefully his back's not too bad. But all those guys have been patient and make the pitcher work.
Indy draws a walk here. This is the second walk issued by Neiman.
Joe Madden's going to make the change.
Yes, he is. So he's going to go to the bullpen. J.P. Howell's going to come on. 8-3 Tampa Bay. We're in the 6th. Quest game recap. Big 6'9" Jeff Neiman. Boy, was he something else through the first 4 innings. He threw a perfect game through 4, striking out 3. And looked real good doing it too. Things got away from him in the 5th. There's his final numbers. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Runner on first base right now, his responsibility. And he got it done in 86 pitches. 50 for strikes. J.P. Howell, left-hander, brought in by Joe Madden to face Ken Griffey Jr. 1 out, 1 on here in the 6th. Junior tonight struck out looking and bounced out to shortstop. Strike 1. Irvy's batting average at 175. Griffey's 0 for 1 against Howell. Got the shift on for Junior. 1-1. Mariners runs come in the 5th. Error on the shortstop put Beltre on board. Neiman walked Cedeno. And an 0-1 pitch to Lopez. He hit it in the bullpen, the Mariners bullpen, for a 3-run homer. Here's the 1-1 to Junior. Throw for Chavez. Ichiro's been thrown out after getting a base hit. Chavez reached on a walk. Mariners trying to claw their way back into this and keep Rays off the board. They've scored every inning of this ballgame. Here's the 1-1 to throw for Chavez.
If he does decide to run, I wonder who's going to cover. Bartlett's playing over where second base is. Longoria, the third baseman, is playing where short is. He'd be the guy I would think that would cover the third baseman, Longoria.
I think they were just getting that straight too. Check swing. 2 balls, 1 strike. Griffey Jr. homered in the opener at Minnesota. He's had 1 here. 613 on his career. The 2-1. Count evens at 2-2. Time's call. J.P. Howell in Kansas City. It's his 4th season with Tampa Bay. Here's the 2-2. Get him out in front. Just got a piece of it.
A lot of breaking balls to Junior. We've seen that from the left-handers. A lot of sliders for the most part to him.
Al struck out more people than anybody among AL relievers last year with 92, tied with Octavio Dotel of the White Sox. The 2-2 to Griffey. Keeps the at-bat alive. Be the 7th pitch coming up. Griffey would love to elevate and get one out of the yard here. Close that gap a little bit. It's 8-3 Tampa Bay. Outcome set, the 2-2. He's getting his money's worth on this AB.
Well, Hal's thrown him everything. Sliders, he's thrown him a couple fastballs, a changeup.
What do you think he comes back with here, 2-2, since he's shown him just about everything he's got in his arsenal?
I think he's probably going to come back with a breaking ball. See if he can get one of them down. You saw that graphic on the tracer. All of them right there. You can see the grouping of them right there in the middle of the plate. I think he's trying to throw it off the plate if he can. He just can't quite get it there.
9th pitch to Griffin. Two and two. Making a full count.
That's another breaking ball.
Some at bat. Beltre's on deck. He's 0 for 2. Runs scored. 10 pitch at bat. This will be number 10 here for Griffey. Hardy fans making some noise here at Safeco. 1 out, 1 on. Home 6th. Pitch to Junior. Swung on and missed.
That looked like a changeup. 3-2 changeup by Howell. So threw everything at him. Take a look at it. Junior's out in front of it.
In honor of the 70th anniversary of the Seattle Rainiers' first PCL championship, the Mariners and A's are going to turn the clock back on to 1939. It's coming up on Saturday, May 2nd. Both teams are going to wear retro uniforms, and the first 20,000 fans are going to take home a replica Rainiers cap. For tickets, visit Mariners.com. Here's Beltre. It'll land in front of us, down below. Strike one to Beltre. Beltre 3 for 7 against Howell. Two outs and one on for the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th. Breaking ball, 0-2.
I want the Mariners going out to L.A. and then over to Chicago. Be nice to get Adrian going, help the offense out a little bit. He's going to hit, but be nice to get him going as they go out on this road trip.
Well, you look at his batting average, 179. I mean, somebody in the next couple of weeks is going to get hurt. Runner goes, swung on, and tipped into the glove of Navarro. Inning over. So Howell does his job. Keeps the Mariners off the board. It's 8-3 Tampa Bay. Mike Flowers and the FSN crew. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. How about Melky Cabrera? This game just shy of 5 hours. Not anymore right here. He leaves the yard. Yet another home run into right field at Yankee Stadium. And they're going to commission yet another study. I don't know what they're going to do. What, they're going to tear this ballpark down? It cost them $1.5 billion. But how about that? 9-7. It took 4 hours and 58 minutes. Yankees will... They got on a plane to head up to Boston for a weekend series.
I heard on the pregame show today they were talking about it, and they were saying that they're concerned that when they tear down the old stadium, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, because the air's going to have a more free-flowing, more room to cover. We'll see that when we get there in late June. Miguel Batista, fourth pitcher tonight. Chris Jakubowski's his second big league start. Did not have it. 3 1/3, 6 runs, all earned, 10 hits, 3 walks and a K. Sean White went in an inning and 2/3. And Roy Corcoran, he pitched the 6th and gave up a run on a hit. Corky walked 2, struck out 1.
Everybody talks about Yankee Stadium all the time. What are the reports on, well, I guess it'd be Shea Stadium.
City Field. City Field, yeah. Which is...
looks nice from the outside.
It looks terrific. You know what the biggest beef is? And I was listening to my old station, FAN. The biggest beef is that they have the Jackie Robinson Rotunda, and they sort of have, okay, but there's nothing, virtually nothing of anything of the Mets' 86 and 86, what was it? 69 and 86 World Championship teams, or the 2000 team, or the 73 team that got to the World Series. You go to Yankee Stadium, it is an absolute Yankee pageantry.
Right.
Okay, and all this long flowing, looks like an art museum.
Well, I'm sure
and
somebody
they have hardly any. And believe me, Met fans are, let's just say, for polite conversation on television, they're not happy.
Right. Well, I'm sure that knowing the New York media, somebody asked them the question of why didn't you do that?
Oh, they're getting hammered. Oh, the Mets are just getting bombarded.
Did they say why?
And they did. They have. How was their answer? And they said that they're going to try to rectify the situation. And you can. And that was pretty much a direct quote out of the Ralph Cramden scorebook there. So 16,476. Two and two to Iwamura. So I'm being told that a lot of that great memorabilia. Oh, right up the middle, base hit for Iwamura. Well, he's a good player. We're told. I'm being told that we have a diehard Met fan in the truck, and I've seen him die hard in the dining room. He's saying that a lot of that stuff, the Mets, what did they do? They sold all of that stuff when Shea Stadium was closed down. All of it great Met. And somebody told me yesterday, Bud Harrelson's not Phil Rizzuto, but to a Met fan, 1973, 1969, right. He's one of your guys. There's nothing. It's almost like the old Mission Impossible. The secretary disavows any knowledge. And Larry Smith wearing his black and blue New York Met cap. Sort of did jump out and said, "Are you from New York?" 8-3 Rays. They've scored in every inning. How about that? So the Mets, Fred Wilpon, the owner, grew up in Brooklyn, huge Dodger fan. His high school teammate, Sandy Koufax. So, hey, he's got the money. Those are his memories. Guess what? You're going to have to deal with it. So that was his approach to the whole thing, okay? Meanwhile, he's had a fairly successful, he's had some tough years in New York, but he's had some good years. And the fans like, dude, you got to put something up. Doc Gooden was even chimed in, said, hey, I'll come back and whatever you need me to do, that type of stuff. He rarely ever does or gets involved in that type of stuff. Runner goes. Throw by Johnson. Not in time. 4 for 4 tonight for the Rays. Iwamura. Good jump. His 5th.
Well, no surprise. It's a big part of their game. We showed the numbers earlier as far as stolen bases go. That almost looked like his foot slid right into Jose's, and he wasn't quite to the bag.
4 out of 5. Make that correction. 4 out of 5. Rob Johnson did throw out Zobrist at third back in the 5th inning. 3-1 to the Rays shortstop, Jason Bartlett. Bouncing ball, Betancourt throws to Lopez, retires Bartlett, 1 out. And that'd be like building, putting up a building here and not having anything of all the great teams that have played here in Seattle. I mean, you got it. It's part of the beauty of having a ballpark. It's your ballpark. You decorate it any way you want. Where would Safeco be without those? I mean, they brought over from the Kingdom. Got to be able to teach the old Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song. Teach your children. Bouncing ball, Beltre. It's all over that. Upton's thrown out, 2 outs. Teach them about the game. Teach them about its rich history. Sunday, May 3. Pepsi and QFC Little League Day. Mariners are going to conclude their series with the A's. All kids 14 and under. They're going to be able to step up their game just in time for the season with a pair of Mariners batting gloves. Get your tickets at mariners.com. 2 outs. Ewa Moore at second. You got a hoodie. You'll definitely want to use it tonight. Eight runs on 13 hits, 2 errors for Tampa Bay. 3 runs, 3 hits, and an error for the Mariners. Strike 1 to Carl Crawford. Crawford's been wearing out the Mariners tonight. Infield hit, base hit to left, infield hit, walk. He scored 3 times. From Batista. Said the Rays have scored in every inning. And the Mariners saw Jeff Neiman throw a perfect game for 4 innings. Two and one. Miguel Batista led the club in wins 2 years ago. They drop off last year. And now he's in the middle of that bullpen. 2 and one. Battle back to 2-2 against Crawford. Sixth game for Batista, 1.80 ERA. Foul back. Batista pitched pretty well against Detroit on Sunday. Victimized by back-to-back errors by Betancourt in the 8th inning. A couple of runs scored. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, man at second. Well out of play. Carl Crawford holds just about every offensive record for the Rays, and he is done right there with a good pitch by Batista. Batista leaves a runner stranded at second base. It's 8-3 Rays. By DSHS, youth gambling, it's not a game. If your kids gamble, visit notagame.org for help and information. 16,476 showed up. Watch the Moose go through his aerobics. They keep warm here. Last temperature check I had, it was 42 real field degrees here at Safeco Field. And I would venture to say that's a pretty accurate reading. He might even want to go down another couple of notches.
I was kind of thinking 38 myself.
Yeah. I got my Mariners Elmer Fudd flaps down Jeffrey Leonard homage cap on for good reason, because it's cold.
As we came back from the break, watching the Moose dance around, I was thinking he's probably the only one that's happy right about now.
Yeah. P. Howell did a nice job striking out Beltre and Griffey to end the sixth. Mariners had a runner on. They had each thrown out in that inning as well. Cedeno pops one. That's going to get out of play. So Cedeno, Lopez, and Johnson here in the seventh inning. Broken bat. Longoria throws across, but his shortstop Bartlett was getting out of the way, and I do not blame him.
A lot of times when you see the barrel of the bat coming out towards the infield, you can see it coming at you, but you can't tell how far it's going to go or how fast it's moving. Talking earlier about Kerwin Danley, the umpire that was hit with a broken bat. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
Yeah, it was a left-handed hitter followed through, and boy, the bat broke and got him up around the neck area, and boy, he went down hard.
Wasn't Kerwin the one earlier in the year too that took a fastball in the face mask and about knocked him out?
I want to say it was a Dodger game. I saw the highlight again, I think this morning or last night, and Martin was sitting curveball, fastball came, and it just totally squared up. Remember how we saw the umpire? Well, earlier tonight, Vanover got hit
on a foul ball. Right.
But this was a pitch that got through, bang, right in the face. And that was Danley. Was that earlier this year or last year?
No, I think that was this year, early.
Yeah.
Another broken bat. Now Goria's dancing around.
Yeah. Iwamura throws out Lopez. We were talking earlier about the Mets not having much memorabilia in terms of paying tribute to their past. They sold just about everything that moved. Matter of fact, I heard, and you can see stuff online, auctioning off stuff from Shea Stadium, a brick or whatever. Well, supposedly there's a banner from '69 on a website. Minimum bid for '69 banner. That's when they won the World Championship. $50,000. We don't know what it finally went for, but that was the minimum bid. Fred Wilpon, go print some new stuff. Oh, 1 to Rob Johnson. 1 of 2. He has 1 of 3 Mariner hits. Lopez a 3-run homer. Johnson a base hit. And Ichiro, those are the only hits this evening. 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for the Rays, 3-3-1 for the Mariners. A good look at fans in the good seats, about 10 rows back, right behind the screen. That's an interesting perspective. Swing and a miss. Johnson's gone. So are the Mariners in the 7th. Tampa Bay closing in on evening this series. Rays lead at 8-3. weekend at a ball game. Check out our Banner Bank building to the future after that, well, I guess you could call it disaster in Minnesota. Brendan Morrow's come back very well. 5 games, 4 for 4 in saves, 5 innings, 3 walks, 2 base hits.
How about these numbers in his last 2 saves? 23 strikes out of 26 pitches.
Sign me up.
It's pretty strong.
Yes, sir. Longoria, Pena, and Burrell in the Tampa Bay 8th. Longoria, perfect night. Single run scored, a sac fly, RBI double, RBI single. Breaking ball from Batista misses. He's behind 3-0. Taken all the way, 3 balls and 1 strike. We're just joining us, Chris Jakubowskis, his second big league start. Not a good one. 3 1/3, 6 runs, all earned, 10 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Longoria fouls it off, 3-2. Jose Lopez accounted for the Mariner runs, a 3-run homer in the 5th. Meanwhile, back to Longoria. He's got 101 RBIs in 135 games with the 3 runs batted in tonight. That is some productivity. Now he's on board again.
Yeah, Mark Lowe. Want to crank it up, maybe get an innings of work in. He's really been throwing the ball well, too. It's good to see.
Slider's been a lot better. Fastball's been terrific.
He's topped out 97 miles an hour. I think the biggest thing, though, is he has command of that fastball, which has made his slider better. He can throw it outside the strike zone and get the hitters to chase it now, as they have to cheat a little bit to try to catch up with a good fastball.
Pena's shift is on. Carlos, huge double to the right center field gap his first time up. Jared Washburn contained Pena very well last night, struck him out 3 times. Pena, good hitter. There's Jared. Ran his record to 3-0. ERA to 1.71.
It's amazing sometimes with a player. You think of Pena bouncing around a little bit, and all of a sudden he gets to Tampa and has that huge year and turns everything around for him.
He goes down swinging here on a 1-2 pitch well out of the zone. Batista with his second strikeout, 1 out here in the 8th. We're talking about what they're doing in New York, selling, I should say auctioning, Old Shea Stadium, which is late and I don't think be totally lamented by a whole bunch of people. Foul pole up for grabs, 25 grand. Visiting dugout, if you got 50 large, you can get it. What Gil Hodges' retired number, that'll run you 15 grand. Anybody know there's a recession going on?
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
I'm not talking about the numbers they're looking for, but the fact that those numbers are for sale.
I know. It's crazy. What are they thinking about? Mets logo, ketchup mustard holders from the third base side, concessions $125.
Of course, everything that you've said so far, There you go. Your Christmas present on its way.
Hey, you got to buy your own ketchup, pal.
That one I can handle.
Look, you step over here. We have some ketchup. From back when Choo Choo Coleman was with the ball club back in 1964. Pat Burrell, an RBI single. Fly out, ground out, walk. Ball hit the center field. Gutierrez. He's right there. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. I know you're warm and toasty at home, Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and the FSN crew. And there's a gearhead there. I like that. Recording a cold night in Seattle at the ballpark. Ben Zobrist, the hitter. Batista's the fourth Mariner pitcher team. Bet a lot of those items will eventually, if the economy does come back shortly, I bet a lot of those items will be coming off that Met website. Cheapest item, the no smoking sign from the first base side at the bullpen. Oh yeah, down the right field line, and that's going to go for $25. Fastball misses. 2-1. Looking ahead to the Mariners' 8th, 8-9-1. Gutierrez, Betancourt, and Ichiro. Little bullpen phone costs you $1,250 from Old Shea Stadium. Who's setting these prices? Good night.
How big's the warehouse?
How big is the warehouse?
How big is the warehouse?
Here's a ball as Batista walks Zobrist on a 3-1. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Batista struck out 2, walked 2.
Well, as we take a quick look around the West, Oakland lost 9-7 to the New York Yankees. Texas lost 8-7 to Toronto, and the Angels are losing to Detroit 11-8 in the 8th inning.
Catching a break.
Yep.
There's Navarro. Mariners starting the day 2.5 up on Texas, and the Mariners the only team in the American League West above 500. Game number 15 just getting underway. Long way to go in this season. Another one of the headlines: wishes speedy recovery to Mike Sweeney, upper back muscle spasms. Check swing back in the 2nd inning. Russell Branyan said to be day to day, 3-2-1. Everybody now, aren't we all? But he said to be coming back. We might be able to get him back tomorrow. 8-13-2 for the Rays, 3-3-1 for the Mariners. 2-0 pitch.
Well, it'd be nice to get him back healthy. The Mariners have a pretty good stretch of games without any days off, and so they're pretty limited now. You look at their bench tonight; they just have Jamie Burke and Ballantine. Cedeno's in the game because of Sweeney, and Branyan, as you mentioned, he's still having his issues with his back. So hopefully they can get those guys back healthy soon.
2 balls and 1 strike to Navarro. Two. So Brandon was out taking a few ground balls before the game today. Sliding into home in that series against Detroit. Was that Saturday night? Aggravated his back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Tried to paint, didn't get it. Bautista's walked 2 men who are on base right now. It's Akinori Iwamura who's on deck. Bautista kept him off the board in the 7th, trying to do so here in the 8th. Runners go. Swung on and fouled off. Rays have left 9 men on tonight. Mariners have left just 1. Been that kind of night. Try it again. 3 and 2, 2 out, 2 on. Runners take off. Short left field. Uni out, Indy in. Chavez gets it. Inning over. So they get 3 the hard way. A couple of walks left on. And that person's up to speed. With today's technology, it's 8-3 Rays. Action coming up for the Mariners. Major League Soccer takes the field this Saturday on FSN. The Seattle Sounders FC return to action against the San Jose Earthquakes. Coverage gets underway at 9:30 p.m. on FSN and FSN HD. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, and the rest of the FSN crew. Third pitcher of the night for Tampa Bay, Dan Wheeler. Mariners offense has been quelled except for the 3-run homer for Lopez in the 5th. Mariners in that big 5th inning. They blew up the perfect game offering through 4 by Jeff Neiman. In an E6, a walk, a 3-run homer, then a base hit by Johnson. Since then, there's been 1 other hit. It was by Ichiro, and he was thrown out trying to steal. Lincoln Gutierrez will lead it off, 0 for 2. Strike 1 from Dan Wheeler. 31 years old, second tour duty with the Rays. He did a heck of a job last year. He held opponents to a 183 batting average. His tops in appearances for the staff last year with 70. In a fourth consecutive season, he's thrown more than 70 innings. High, 2-1. Gutierrez to be followed by Betancourt and Ichiro. Mariners at 9-5, their record through 14 games. 2-2. Like you were talking about Beltre getting going. There's a bunch of guys. Griffey under 200, Beltre under 200. Starting the night, Gutierrez at 209. So a lot of onward and upward for a lot of these hitters for the Mariners.
I think the hard part too is you get into these games where the guys are out in the field for a long time, and you'd really like to see them grind out a couple of at bats, because you never know. Can be one pitch that you just take for a ball or put a good swing on it and gets you going. You just don't, it's tough. It's a cold night. They've been in the field a lot, but you want to grind out your at-bats if you can and try to get something out of it to get you going.
Gutierrez is gone, one out. Bring on Betancourt. Ewing tonight, flat out to left, grounded out to second base. Eight runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for the Rays. 3 runs, 3 hits, an error for the Mariners. Ewing an 0-2 hold. We'll see Mark Lowe for the 9th. Here's the 0-2. Just joining us, Betancourt. Extensive tutoring session. Taking leads at second base. He and a large group of players. Extensive bunting practice. Bunting for base hits, bunting for sacrifices. As Longoria retires Betancourt 2 down. Tomorrow, wrap up the series. James Shields, Felix Hernandez, the pitching matchup. That's a good one too. Shields, good pitcher. Felix at 2-0. Still looking to get consistent. He's had that one good game and another good game where he threw a lot of pitches. He's looking for that real bang-up kind of game, a bang-up run.
I'm trying to think. I think it was the game in Oakland maybe where I think his ankle was still bothering him a little bit too. I think that affected him.
Top of the order, here's Ichiro.
We were talking about the different practice and learning things, and Betancourt working on his leads and things like that. Those are things for him, especially now that he's established himself at this level. There's little things you do to fine-tune your game, and for him, he's such a good athlete and runs well, but at times I don't think he takes full advantage of that. But you have to learn those things and get a feel for them, and then gain confidence in what it is that you're trying to do.
They're staying with him. He's been the subject of a lot of chatter and a lot of typing over the last few days. Made that 2 errors on Sunday. He is not going anywhere. At least I don't think he's going anywhere at all this year, to be honest with you. Ryan Schaus, second time he's been up. 2-1 each run. Two balls, 2 strikes. Dan Wheeler Pitching to Ichiro. Ichiro and Iwamura, two mainstays in the Japanese WBC championship team. Here in this ball game, Iwamura at second base for the Rays. 2-2. Dan Wheeler out of Warwick, Rhode Island. Lives in Seminole, Florida. Wheeler's been with Tampa Bay, Mets, Houston for a long stint. Back with Tampa Bay. Got back to this ball club in 07. Line drive, base hit. That's going to skip to the gap. Ichiro digging for two. Here's the throw. He's in standing with a double. Mike, just like you said, you never know.
Well, again, I think the important thing is just, grind out the rest of the game. Ichiro, before that hit, was hitting 250. He definitely is not going to give that bat away. Solid base hit. Nice line drive in the left center field. Pitched right in the middle of the plate.
His first double of the year. Two-out man at second for Indy Chavez. A couple of the homeboys from Japan getting a hangout. World-class players. I remember being so impressed with Akinori as a third baseman 2 years ago, and then he turns himself into a big-time second baseman. Good player.
Not an easy thing to do.
I'm telling you, you dig through the 18,000 guys that have ever played big league baseball on a consistent basis. I dare you to come up with more than a couple of examples of guys that have gone from big time third baseman and then transformed into second baseman and still be very good players.
I think the hardest thing is not necessarily, he can catch a ground ball, that's obvious, but it's turning the double play. And I think it's really hard as a second baseman because now all of a sudden you have your back to the runner.
Somebody trying to blow you up.
Yeah, and you have to have a feel for that.
Popped up, Navarro takes a look, and he has a play, inning over. Well, that'll do it for the Mariners. To the ninth we go. Tampa Bay 8-3. Rays. Here's a request: leave work early. Come on out to Safeco Field. Your boss won't matter. U.S. Bank Mariners Matinee special 3:40 p.m. start time. For tickets, visit mariners.com. Spring, bring your boss too. What the hey? Mark Lowe's the new pitcher. And for Mark, he is going to be the fifth pitcher this evening. Jakubowski started. White, Corcoran, Batista, now Lowe. Sixth game for Mark. Good ERA. Strikeouts over walks, 6 over 2. They'll face Iwamura, Bartlett, and Upton. There's a Rays box score. They've done some work tonight. Everybody but Navarro. Ball 1 to Iwamura. .891 Iwamura, Bartlett, and Upton. Going to left field a lot tonight. Long run, Chavez into the corner. Nice play, Andy Chavez. Nicely done. Wow. That is big time. Boy, he never gave up on it. Then he goes airborne and makes a heck of a catch.
Yeah, Iwamura has put him in that corner a couple of different times. Really nice play. Finds the wall early, times his jump.
Well done.
Yeah, nice play.
One out here in the ninth. Andy Chavez, 15 games, has been quite valuable. As Beltre vacuums up that and then makes a bad throw. Not your standard issue Beltre throw.
Well, you don't see that very often from him. Looked like he threw a sinker over there.
Beltre, that's his 3rd error of the year. Bartlett reaches 2nd on the E5. Top of the order, 1 out, 1 on, B.J. Upton. Both teams have committed 2 errors. Bouncing ball. Beltre again. Double clutch. Might have been thinking about it. Safe. 1st and 3rd. Call that one a base hit. Upton's got extraordinary speed.
Well, I think that's what caused the bobble more than anything. He knew he had to hurry with his throw. Didn't get a good grip on it. This time Lopez is able to pick it.
So Lowe, easy to say, deserves a better fate. He could have been out of this in 3 hitters. Now he's got Crawford with 2 on, 1 out. Fastball at an 86 up high. Three-hit night for Crawford. Scored 3 times. Longest tenured Tampa Bay Ray in the history of the franchise. Fastball away, misses, 2-1. Crawford, the all-time leader for the Rays. Hits, at bats, runs, stolen bases, triples, and games played. 2-1. Back up the middle, base hit, run scores. It's 9-3. What a night for Crawford. 4 base hits. It's his first RBI of the night. Gives him 8 on the season.
Of all the different talented outfielders that they've brought up through their system, put in the big leagues, he's the guy that has been able to stick around for good reason. He's been a really good player, and I don't think a lot of people will even pay that much attention to him. But
now that they're an elite club,
yeah, he does a lot of things to help you win games.
Great speed, covers left field.
And just a good hitter. Plays every day.
There's another one of their bright young players, Evan Longoria, Rookie of the Year in the American League. He's driven in 3. He's got 3 hits. Been on base 4 of his 5 plate appearances. What a night. Longoria singled in the 1st, sac fly in the 2nd, double in the 4th for a run, singled home a run in the 6th, Walked in the 8th. Tremendous speed on the bases right now. Changeup.
I think that infield hit to Upton is the first hit a right-hander has gotten off of Mark Lowe this year.
Impressive.
Well, it goes back to what you were talking about earlier and how good his slider has been. Awfully tough on right-handed hitters.
1-2 to Longoria with 2 on, 1 out. Fly ball center field. Gutierrez coming in. 2 down. Two outs. First time they've retired Longoria without affecting the score. Got a sac fly in the second. Here's Carlos Pena. Struck out his last 2 times up. And he has a big 2-run double in the first. Carlos 2 strikeouts tonight, 3 last night. Madden's mantra this year, 09 is going to be better than 08. All they did last year was win the American League pennant. Had a little bit of a slump coming into the All-Star break, then they took off after the All-Star break. Confidence really soared from there. Went on to beat the White Sox and the Red Sox and get to the series before losing to Philly in 5. Pena 31 homers, 102 RBIs last year. Gets through Johnson, doesn't know where it is. Third base side, runners move up. It's a wild pitch. Upton to third, Crawford to second.
I'm talking about them winning last year and playing consistent baseball after the break. And, you know, we've heard him talk about Bartlett a lot, the shortstop, and him being the MVP of their club. It wasn't necessarily because of what he was doing offensively. He just solidified things for their infield and played really good defense for him.
2-0 to Pena. That's going to stay in the ballpark. Ichiro or Gutierrez, it's Ichiro. Inning over, 2 stranded. So one of those hold your breath 9th innings, and they fail to score. And Cormier is going to come on here in the 9th. Here at Safeco Field. Join us tomorrow. Final game of this 3-game set with the defending AL champion Rays. Felix Hernandez takes the mound. close out this 9-game homestand. Coverage begins tomorrow at an early start time, 3 p.m. right here in FSN and FSN HD. Our continuing quest for more information on what they have done with Shea Stadium. The lockers. You want a Rafael Santana locker that was also used by Willie Mays and Mike Piazza. Johan Santana. Used by Santana, Willie Mays, and Mike Piazza, cost you $50,000. Locker used by Pedro Martinez and Darryl Strawberry, $6,500. Delgado, Oloruten, and Andy Chavez old locker, $2,500. Griffey, Beltre, Cedeno against Lance Cormier. Griffey struck out twice, grounded out to short. It has not been a good night. What's that?
Well, where are all the proceeds going?
Well, it was city owned, I know that. So I would imagine maybe the city is splitting some of it. They're either going to take it all. Maybe the Mets get a piece. I don't know how all the details are. We can try to get you that matter of seconds here. 2-1 to Griffin. Lance Cormier's 6th game. Look out. Cold night like this, bare hand rocket like that's going to hurt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Did you ever get a foul ball? And I don't mean up in the booth.
No, I didn't. No, not during a game. I got stuff after the fact. Foul. How about you?
Just one time. It happened to be in a spring training game when I was still playing, but I was done for the day, so I was showering, walking through the stands to go get my family, and one ricocheted off a back wall and came right to me.
Oof. 2-2. Cormier, 6'1", 200. From Lafayette, Louisiana. Lives in Tuscaloosa, Alabama right now. That's an SEC football country for you right there. 2-2 to Junior. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I believe they had something close to 70,000 people for the Crimson Tide spring game. Matter of fact, I shortcut it. It was 82 on the total. Griffey. Is he confused? Anybody confused? He's on board. He got a free pass. I was wondering why I was standing there because I hit 3-2 here on my sheet. He wanted to hit.
It's been a long night.
Yeah. I was wondering what he was doing. It was a long at bat. Got 8 pitches.
Well, if he's the judge in Kangaroo Court, does he write himself up?
But I tell you what, I'll nominate him right now. Judge Mo Money. Here's Beltre lined out to left, reached on an error, and scored in the 5th. That was in front of, or right after the Lopez, part of the Lopez 3-run homer, and he struck out. Nine runs, 15 hits, 2 errors for Tampa Bay. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Mariners. Longoria, Iwamura for 1. Over to Pena for 2. Go around the horn. Second double play turned by Tampa Bay. Bottom 9, 2 outs. Last hope. Ronnie Cedeno. Mariners down 9-3. Little tapper in front of the mound. Cormier takes it, fires, throws, game over. And Tampa Bay evens this series at a win apiece, and they do it in resounding fashion.